can't kill Michael Myers! It's impossible!
This is what happens when you work to change things.
You're being a little bitch! What do you fucking want from me? Get off my dick!
You know, if you don't understand the situation, it's better sometimes not to speak and just be proven a complete imbecile in the matter. Okay, so...
Man, fuck you. I think you a
It's not
bitch.
financial
You
advice,
understand
not
what I'm
legal
saying?
advice for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? What are you saying? Are you saying it? What are you saying?
Subscribe button, all that YouTube algorithm stuff, so you get the videos I put them out.
First they think you're crazy, then they fight you.
That data, but like I tell every day, the data release.
I don't know. I don't really think that's the case.
False narrative, the markets we can make it bad.
And then all of a sudden you change the world.
I have a question, and DOJ, FBI, CIA, Interpol. It's a question for all you guys and the SEC, but you know, we know you don't care. But
Interpol,
the stock market,
how about that?
Criminal organization on the planet. I was doing a little research. You know, the DD they say we don't do, and I was looking at how much money was made from different types.
This is absolutely fantastic, by the way. Good evening. Was working on some audio stuff today and ended up changing microphones. So had to get that all dialed in and whatnot. But yeah, so I was looking at some stuff and I found this. And boy, this is absolutely staggering, you know, the degree to which the malfeasance extends. Anyway, I'll just let him say it. Here we go.
Globally. Okay? And according to United Nations, cocaine selling generates about $32 billion. Okay? And then, according to Homeland Security, human trafficking generates about $150 billion annually. All these annually.
Wow, okay.
And they say that the counterfeit goods trade generates about $1.7 trillion annually. But you know how much these bad actors, these criminals make from counterfeit shares every single year from naked.
Now, is this according to Interpol or who is this according to? That's what I want to know. This next number that he's going to pull out of his asshole. Is this an official number? How many?
Every single years in excess of $2 trillion. So, according to the numbers, and I mean, we're in the stock market, so we do numbers. We are numbers peoples. According to the numbers, the United States stock market is the biggest criminal enterprise on the planet.
Oh, now wait a minute, though. Wait. Hold on. Let me just, interject here. Who says that it's a criminal organization? So you talk about cocaine trafficking. Cocaine selling. You talk about human trafficking. Talk about counterfeit goods trade. Okay, those are objectively illegal things. Black markets. But let's just compare it to the stock market. It makes total sense.
By the amount of profits they're making from the illegal activities, the United States stock market is number one. If there's anybody who's looking at this video who can tell me another type of crime that generates more profits than the criminality in the U.S. stock market, please leave it.
I know one. I know.
Everything I've read, everything I've seen, all the numbers.
How about
research? The United
fake financial advisors
generates more profit from criminality than any other criminal enterprise on this planet. And
give me a fucking break, dude.
The SEC is complicit. They allowed this to go down. So DOJ, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, This is a threat.
Why are you citing this? Why are you mentioning the CIA? CIA has nothing to do with this. Oh, well, they're the ones that do conspiracies, I guess.
To our national security. And y'all need to shut this down.
Fucking clown.
Okay? You need to shut it down. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. What do you think?
Well, now I can agree. I can get on board with that. Need to shut it down. Need to shut it down. I agree. But I don't think that his idea of shutting it down and my idea of shutting it down are the same. I don't believe so.
That data, we can make bad trading decisions. Listen, Marshall Mace, okay, he's one of the world's largest hedge fund managers. You know what he announced on November 14th? He announced that he bought $28 million of AMC shares. Now, we have all these United States media companies putting out foot articles that AMC is a bad investment.
It's about 3.5 million shares,
should sell
potentially.
AMC.
At $8, it's 3.5 million shares. But I'm not even sure who. I don't even know if this is true. I don't know who this person is. I don't know when it went into effect. I don't know if it was a 13F. I don't know if it's for Q3. Who knows?
Shares. That is what they're telling us. But somehow, one of the largest hedge funds managers of the world decided that $28 million worth of AMC shares would be a good addition to his portfolio. What does that tell you? And I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell AMC. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is Mr. Marshall Mace must see something that the bad actors
there you
in the
go.
United States don't see.
He sees more downside, so he sees profit in lending.
But the big dogs seem to be buying up those counterfeit AMC shares. I wonder why. Do they know that the fundamentals of AMC is getting...
I mean, you've been saying this.
Do they know that these naked shorters...
If they supposedly know that, then, I mean... No. You would know that then. Nobody knows anything beyond what is known by everybody. All the market participants. That's how the market works. So that's how things get priced in. So you have some random hedge fund who goes out and buys supposedly 28 million worth of AMC shares, 3 million shares or whatever. Okay. So this dude, he knows something that everybody else doesn't. He sees an opportunity there that nobody else sees. Except this guy, Donnie, saw it, heard it from somewhere. Where did he hear it from? And if it's such a great fucking idea, why the fuck hasn't everybody jumped on that bandwagon? The cat's out of the bag. No. I don't even know who he's...
These criminals are running out of liquidity, and soon they're going to have to close out their AMC short positions. Do they know that the banks that have been financing these naked shorts are about to go belly up also and are hanging on by their fingernails?
I mean, this doesn't even make sense.
It's my opinion.
Okay, whatever.
Combination of all those...
Whatever.
They see a big upside to AMC coming very, very soon. And once again, I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell AMC. You have to do your own DD and come to your own conclusion. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Why do you think Marshall Mace decided to buy $28 million worth of AMC when Investor Place says it's a bad investment? Anyway, have a great day. God bless. And I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.
Okay, I'm trying to find anything about this. Marshall Wace. Okay. Is that it? All right, 1 second here. Just how many thoughts you could string together that have nothing to do with each other, right? Okay. So, Marshall Wace. What do we got here? Stock Zoa. So, it is a 13F. Look at that. Wow. Hang on. So, look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Oops. Okay. I'm messing everything up here. But I don't know what this site is, but it's one of these 13F sites. So it is for the third quarter. Of course it is. Of course it is. So here we are sitting in the fourth goddamn quarter. Middle of November. And we got this guy
We can make
here
bad.
talking about...
Listen, Marshall Mace, okay, he's one of the world's largest hedge fund managers. You know what he announced on November 14th? He announced that he bought $28 million of AMC shares. Now, we have all these United States media companies putting out foot articles that AMC is a bad investment, that AMC is a bad bet, that we should sell our AMC shares. That is what they're telling us. But somehow, one of the largest hedge funds managers of the world decided that $28 million worth of AMC shares would be a good addition to.
Okay. All right. So, first of all, it appears to be Marshall Wace, not Mace. Okay. Whatever. But then we have, if you actually look it up here, you see a 13F filing from the third quarter that talks about $28 million, 3.5 million shares, and right around $8, which is what I estimated. But the larger point here is that this is from the third quarter. This represents the position that was held at the end of the third quarter. Going into the fourth quarter, they could have sold those shares for a profit or loss, on the first day of the fourth quarter, and then this would be moot because they wouldn't still be holding these shares. So that's the problem with 13F filing disclosures. It's not current, it's not real time, it's delayed by design. And really for this reason, at least partially, so that people aren't chasing after the positions that are reported. Okay, we know that it's delayed, so we can't necessarily chase after it because it might not still be valid. Well, that doesn't matter here, of course. They held 28 million on the at the end of the third quarter. That means that they must be holding them now, right? So let's go ahead and pile in. This is clear stock pumping. This is this is the manipulation. This is the manipulation right here. And if we dug further into this, which I'm not going to do here, but one could, and look at their other holdings and see, what exactly try to piece together what were they trying to do. You probably see that it has to do with, index, ETF, some kind of forced or, I don't want to say scheduled, but, standard institutional buying in order to recreate an index, something like that Is this a speculative trade? Maybe. Who knows? But we don't even know if they're still holding it now. That is the problem. So, this is, for all intents and purposes, this is not true. Let's see. And the price went down. They bought it to lend it out. AMC is a value play now, at least, besides the short squeeze. Oh, okay. So now it's a value play. We're in a value stock now. Where did he buy the shares? Tells me he's lending it out. Still no positive price action. Marshall Wace. Yeah, of course. Of course it is. Sure, AMC can be an okay investment for someone starting their position now, but you are fucked either way.
To his portfolio. What does that tell you? And I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell AMC. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is...
Yes, you are, actually. That's exactly what you're saying.
See something that the bad actors in the United States don't see. They keep telling us to sell our shares, but the big dogs seem to be buying up those counterfeit AMC shares. I wonder why. Do they know that the fundamentals of AMC is getting better and better every day? Do they know that these naked shorters, these criminals, are running out of liquidity?
British hedge fund,
they're gonna have to
located in London.
Short positions. Do they know that the banks that have been financing
and there is no Mr. Marshall Wace.
belly?
There's Mr. Ian Wace and Mr. Paul Marshall, hence Marshall Wace. I mean, this is a Google search. This is fucking Google giving me the Wikipedia top results. That's all you had to do. Did this clown do that? Fuck no.
And are hanging on by their fingernails? I think, and this is just my opinion, it's a combination of all those.
How are you going to sit there and claim that they're hanging on by their fingernails when the price is literally below $1 pre-split, like you guys like to say? That's not hedge funds shorting the fucking stock, losing their ass. You dumbass motherfucker. If you believe that, you are an idiot. And if this clown thinks that he can fool people, well, I mean, he's probably doing an okay job at that, but that's retarded too. That's fucking stupid. All it takes is a basic understanding of how the shit works on a basic level to know. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Okay? So, buying counterfeit shares. Let's see. Where is Tony DiFranzetti talking about the Marvel's box office dropped off 87% in the second week, $300 million to make? Oh boy, I haven't even looked at those numbers. That should be fun. But before that, I found this guy too. Okay, I can't believe that this is. Where's Badback at? He's going to love this one.
Exemption 7A protects from disclosure records compiled for law enforcement purposes, the release of which could reasonably be expected to interfere with enforcement activities. There seems to be an ongoing criminal...
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So we've seen this before. We've seen this misinterpretation of words before. Okay, so... He's looking at this FOIA request response from the government, right? And he sees that it says access is granted to closed records except for information was exempt from disclosure under these particular bits of U.S. code as described below, right? So, prepared in anticipation of litigation. Records or information when disclosure would constitute an invasion of privacy, and disclosure records that could be reasonably expected to interfere with law enforcement activities. Okay. Does that mean that there is an active criminal type of investigation? Based on the reasons, the FOIA exemptions that are claimed to withhold information? I don't believe so. That in and of itself would be kind of an interesting disclosure of information, right? So you file a FOIA request, they deny the FOIA request, and in the course of the denial of the FOIA request, they admit that there's an ongoing investigation. That's what this kid thinks. That's what this guy claims. That's what he's going to say.
Investigation and interfere with law enforcement purposes. The FOIA Exemption 7A protects from disclosure records compiled for law enforcement purposes, the release of which could reasonably be expected to interfere with enforcement activities. There seems to be an ongoing criminal investigation into fails to deliver for the first half of October. I know plenty of you guys have seen my videos that we have not been reported, or at least shown.
Oh, okay.
SEC the first half of FTDs for October. In fact, we actually
cool.
The second half before the first half. Now, this is an FOIA request by a shareholder, which indicates the government's inability to provide FTD records for October 1st to 15th, 2023 due to an ongoing investigation. The remaining 591 pages are being withheld in their entirety. What is going on, guys? Lottery Socks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Yesterday was a rough day, so I'm sorry I didn't get to upload. But today we have a video for you guys, and today was also a rough day because I was having computer problems. Overall, just not the best luck. Either way, we have a lot of stuff to cover in today's video, so make sure to hit the like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, and I'm hoping that the screen is normal. If it's not, and I'm recording with like half the screen, I had to reset my OBS player, and if it's not right, I'll work with that later for the next video upload, but hopefully it's right.
Who cares? Nobody, we don't care.
Button, get this video to 1,000 likes. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of what's happening with Bitpanda. Bitpanda deleting cross posts on their Twitter feed about AMC swap contracts being passed off as one-to-one stock allocation, trying to facilitate false AMC share location.
Well, probably because it was bullshit to begin with, because this is not how it works. It literally does not work this way. There's no mechanism in place through which something like this could work that I'm aware of, that anybody seems to be aware of, but hey, whatever, you know. Sure.
Now trying to cover their tracks.
You got it.
Bitpanda, basically like FTX, is doing the same exact thing. Check this out. Product name, AMC Entertainment Holdings Class AA token. This product is an over-the-counter derivative that enables direct and one-to-one participation in the following underlying asset: AMC Entertainment Holdings Class A. Now, this proves that futures can be illegally used as fake share locate short for hedge funds by Bitpanda's token. Explained, if they're holding the
no, it does not.
They can then sell the share
boss
taking
cunts
contract, aka token, away from the token holder. Rinse and repeat equals endless share locates from Bitpanda's depot that a hedge fund can buy in order to.
I mean, you know, if this is simple enough for boss blunts to supposedly figure out, I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean, really?
As a share
really
to another broker dealer to cover, but not close a short position, thus keeping the cost to borrow artificially and illegally suppressed. So basically,
cover, but not close. Oh, we're back to that again. God damn.
Token contracts via perpetual swap / futures. Well, not only is there an investigation,
Germany now,
entirety of the fails to deliver, but remember, they are investigating transparency as well, and there is also an ongoing investigation into short sellers. But not only those two, as well as the swaps, which we recently talked about, SEC adopts Dodd-Frank rule on clearing agency conflicts of interest, adopting new rules to mitigate conflict of interest for security-based swap clearing agencies.
And of course, the operative word, term, name here is Dodd-Frank rule, which, if you know anything about the last 20 years, you know that that was the response, congressional response to the 2008 financial crisis, GFC, and Dodd-Frank reforms were they came up with these after that to supposedly correct some of the issues that led to the financial crisis, right? So this has nothing to do with meme stocks, has nothing to do with AMC, GameStop, any of that garbage. This has literally been in the works since like 2010, okay? It's been in the works since 2010. And yes, it's taken them 13 fucking years to implement this shit. And it's not even implemented yet, a lot of it. That's the efficiency of the U.S. government. But in any case, it has nothing to do with FTX or AMC or any of this garbage. Okay,
new rules to
nothing
mitigate
to do with
conflict
it.
of interest for security-based swap clearing agencies, short sale data transparency, and mandating security-based swap execution facilities register with the agency. Yada yada yada. So there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of investigations. Maybe this is exactly
Yada yada yada. A bunch of stuff I don't understand, so I'm just going to skip over it.
And finally put the pin on what's happening with AMC. Finally,
it's not a black swan.
Came out and exposed
it was planned.
George Santos actually
We've known this.
in GameStop during the peak of the squeeze, and there's a few
Who cares?
things that were exposed about.
So George fucking Santos, possibly one of the most clownish simulated politicians we've had in my lifetime, at least. I mean, if you want to talk about a simulated figure, here he is. I mean, all of this is really. All of this is. But George fucking Santos, a fake fucking politician, simulated politician, traded AMC and GameStop. Okay. But think about this. George fucking Santos traded it at the fucking peak of the enthusiasm. Wouldn't it be great if it comes out that George fucking Santos made a shit ton of money trading these stocks? Because then, as stupid, as foolish, as clownish as George fucking Santos is, at least he had the good sense to take fucking profit. Now, I don't know if he did or not. I don't know. And he probably did turn around and dump it all back into OnlyFans. He probably did. But, okay. His involvement in GameStop and AMC stuff. Let's find out.
OnlyFans subscriptions, but we're not going to talk about that. Before we get into the charts, I want to talk about big banks closing their puts on AMC. Take a look. All November 15th, 14th, and the 13th, Jane Street Group, Wolverine Trading, Anson Funds, the list goes on and on, of big institutions closing their puts on AMC.
So he just said it right there. November 14th, November 15th. Why is that relevant here? Well, that throws up a red flag in my mind. It goes back to the last thing with Marshall Wace. Of course, I'm talking about 13F filings and then the deadline for those filings, which just so happens to be 45 days after the end of the quarter. End of the quarter was September 30th. So, 45 days would be fucking November 15th. So, wow, they all decided to close them all at the same time, guys. They must know something, right? Give me a fucking break. Learn the fucking basics.
Nearing its all-time low before potentially getting another rally. And before we get into the charts, I want to touch on some numbers. Short interest of free float, we're sitting at 9.78% according to Ortex. 2 million shares are able to borrow on Stonko Tracker. 1,000 calls.
9%.
Expiring in.
Wow.
The gamma ramp is building to the downside. Plus, there is a ton of premium being lost and given to market makers for the people who are betting calls with the expiration of this week, as well as next week and the week after. Short exempts died down a little bit just because AMC's volume.
That's been the case the whole time, bro.
So it went from 1 million to 500,000 to 200 to 155. We will see if that starts scaling even lower, but it's unlikely. It'll probably sit around 150.
Oh, short exempt, right? Because short exempt volume is indicative of crime, right? No. most likely, I mean, no, not most likely. We know what it is. We know what short exempt volume is. We know that it represents riskless principal transactions by market makers. It's when they basically are selling it to you, turning around and buying it back to cover a temporary short position, but they bought it back at the same price, hence the riskless part of it, you know. And so a declining short, this is what's so ironic about their misunderstanding of short volume in general and short exempt volume, but short volume in general too. Short volume represents retail buying by payment for order flow customers. And short exempt volume is a further refining of that down to, okay, which transactions actually were done this way that required them to go out, them meaning the market makers, go out and buy, turn around and buy the shares like immediately at the same price that they sold it at because they didn't have it and they couldn't internalize it. So that's all it is. I mean, so in that sense, declining short volume and declining short exempt volume is not necessarily something you should be praising or wanting. It represents less retail engagement, actually. Have I ever heard anybody fucking say that? No. Absolutely not. They think that this is naked shorting by hedge funds or the market maker in order to change the price, and which is ridiculous. It's the exact opposite. It is the exact opposite. But, you know, oh no, it's fake liquidity. It's a liquidity fairy, you know, Dougie Large, criminals.
5. We will see if that starts scaling even lower, but it's unlikely. It'll probably sit around 150. GameStop, 400,000 shares available to borrow. Call to put ratio, 3,000 compared to 13.
Oh, it'll probably sit around 150. Right, of course.
Same goes
yeah.
for GameStop. Not looking
fucking
good on the
clown.
chain, gamma building to the downside, and all this premium going to market makers that is being lost, especially expiring this week, over 80,000 call contracts. Another thing to note, they're not letting GameStop run. We have seen these spikes in short exempt volume on days that GameStop actually...
They're not letting it run.
30,000.
Oh.
It's a lot for GameStop. Even 14,000 is a lot for GameStop.
Now,
you can see
like, even this Muppet here,
1 to 5.
He just said, like, what did he just say? Listen to this.
Spikes in short exempt volume on days that GameStop actually goes green, coming all the way up.
We've seen the short spikes in short exempt volume on days when GameStop goes green. Well, you don't fucking say. You don't fucking say. Case in point, right here. He's not even processing the words that he's saying. Why do you think you see the price go green on the days when there's more short exempt volume? Fucking genius. Why don't you think about that? That should spark some curiosity. I would. Why does that not spark curiosity to go look up what these things actually are? Well, no, you can just sit here and fucking grift about it instead. This is a great example of simulated due diligence. To the lay person, I use that term very loosely, but amateur, novice, whatever you want to call it, untrained, unskilled, uninformed. To the uninformed eye, this appears to be DD. It has all of the hallmarks of research, has all the hallmarks of what one might consider due diligence, right? Data, numbers, terms, news articles, all this kind of shit. Except when you actually consider the content. So this is the thing. It appears to be research, and on some level it is. But if you if you actually care about whether the information's true or not, it's like ChatGPT can come up with something that, looks like a 5-paragraph essay about whatever topic. And it might have 5 paragraphs. And it might follow the form that you learned in 4th grade. But if you actually look at the goddamn content, objectively, is it true or not? A lot of the times it isn't. And in that sense, it is... Well, anyway. Hey, Ron. Hello. Hello. Male only fans. Is that directed to Ron? No, okay. Santos. George fucking Santos. And if I had to guess, I would say that George fucking Santos isn't, if he was trading it at that time, and he was, I don't know if he was a member of Congress at that time, but certainly if he was, he definitely profited off of it. We have the trades. We have the trades. So he didn't make money, but he did better than Morantz. Okay, we do have the trade. All right. I'll check it out. I don't really see much of a point here.
Even 14,000 is a lot for GameStop. You can see that it usually sits between 1 to 5,000, and now we are 345xing that. Also, apparently AMC's intrinsic value sits at $54.83 compared to the current market share of $7.89, which means it is 86% undervaluation. Now we know exactly what AMC is worth and where
in the fuck do we get these
shareholders there are. The on-balance volume
intrinsic value. Where is this coming from? I mean, this is great. Here's a unsourced, cut off screenshot that's telling people that it's worth $54, guys. What the fuck? Simulated fucking DD.
Value sits at $54.83 compared to the current market share of $7.89, which means it is 80.
Wow, that's sorely undervalued.
Exactly what AMC is worth and where the price sits based off.
Oh, I love when they say that. We know what it's worth. We know what we hold. And on some level, you have to acknowledge all these red herrings, all these fake simulated websites that put out shit like this, right? But again, these things aren't red flags. It's not a red flag. Oh, it's undervalued by 86%. Then why the fuck hasn't everybody bought it and pushed the price up if it's actually undervalued? Because the market is valuing it at $7.89, which is a far cry from $54.83. And, you can talk about inefficiency versus efficiency and all that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, is a stock going to hold? Is it going to hang out at an 86% undervaluation, supposedly? I don't think so, Tim. I don't think so, Tim.
The on-balance volume sits well above this level. But the fact is, AMC is extremely undervalued at $7, and it's time to touch on the charts. AMC trading at $7.44, up 0.68% on the day, tracking perfectly with what we have drawn out. There's not much to say here. Coming to scale down, find a new low, probably.
Tracking perfectly. Well, okay, so tracking perfectly. What more do we need? Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Uncle Frank, and welcome to my channel. I'm not a financial advisor.
In market updates. This is Uncle Frank, and I'm not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Please remember to hit the like button if you enjoyed the presentation, and be sure to subscribe.
Well, it's a good thing for AMC and companies on the stock market, then, Robert, that shorts don't destroy companies. That's not how it works. And I don't think that's incorrect. It's just not, that's a false narrative. And if that were true, wouldn't the short interest be more than 9%? I mean, that's not that much. It's not that much in general. It's not that much compared to how much AMC has had before. I mean, not to mention, it is not possible, and I've tried to find, I have legitimately tried to find examples of that, and you can't find it. You can find people claiming it, yes, but I'm looking for actual proof. I'm not looking for Reddit saying it. I'm looking for actual proof. Both of the concept and specific examples of that happening. And in every case, including in 2008, it can never be shown that short sellers are the reason for a massive decline. It's never the case. It's just not how it works. In fact, as Manuel's alluding to here, the short selling actually reduces volatility. It reduces volatility. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Over time, you're going to have buying that's associated with closing those positions. That mitigates the losses. Not to mention, you have a certain percentage of shares that are going to be sold short, total, and it's not enough to bankrupt a company. Okay, Manuel says short saved AMC, short saved GME. The new low could be $5. True, the dilutions were uncalled for. I counted on the shares breaking $12, not going down to $8 the Friday after earnings. That's not how to motivate retail investors. Well, I mean, a couple things here. The dilutions were not uncalled for. That's how the company can raise money. They already are borrowing to the hilt. Unless you believe that, they're lying on their balance sheet or something, there's actually more money than what they say there is. I don't know how it could be claimed that the dilution was uncalled for. Counting on it to break $12. I mean, I don't know why would you count on anything happening in the stock market? I mean, I count on the opposite of what I think to happen. I count on the opposite. And usually I'm still wrong somehow, because it ends up being a third option that I didn't consider, because there's always a third option, or fourth or fifth, right? It always goes down after earnings. And do you really think that they meaning everyone, do you really think anyone cares about retail investors? I mean, let's be real. Your job as a retail investor is to make money. Plain and simple. You don't need anybody to motivate you to do that. The motivation is, this is a shit stock, I'm not going to trade it. Or the motivation is, hey, this one is, going, quote unquote, going parabolic or whatever. Or we're in this period of intense mania surrounding AI technology, whatever. I'm going to buy into that. Or there is a gamma squeeze or something. Or there's this crazy irrational everything rally where everything, risk assets or whatever. You latch onto that, you trade it, you take the profit, and you move on to the next thing. Okay. I mean, a lot of what I see Robert saying here is stuff that, is talked about on social media. A lot of that stuff has been false from the beginning. That's what we've been saying for 2 years. The question is, why is anybody listening to this information? Not what I'm saying, but what these influencers are saying. They have the worst track record that you could actually ever imagine, except maybe Meet Kevin might be as bad or worse. Maybe. He's pretty bad. I just don't know, like, why any credence is given to this stuff. And I have some theories, but I mean, GameStop is going down too, probably $8. I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, I was watching some videos earlier on the GameStop Black Friday sales, which appear to be total shit. I watched a video. One guy, he was trying for about an hour on the GameStop website to actually find where are the actual deals at? I don't even see them. Yeah. 75% off games, well, or 50 something, 75% off games. Yeah, they've had that sale for the last month. Pretty dismal. Well, let's see what Frank has. I'm going to speed him up because Frank's a leisurely.
To the channel, so you're alerted when I have new information to share. So now let's get into the latest updates. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Well, Uncle Frank, this sucks. Look at that hourly chart. We closed at 739, down 50 cents or 6.34% on no bad news. In fact, we just came off an avalanche of good news. The best third quarter in our history, with nothing but good news on the horizon. And yet we're down.
Oh, here we go.
This week, 22% over the past month, 77% over the past 90 days, and now down 89% year over year. But let's think.
Nothing but good news on the horizon. I don't know. I'm not convinced of that. I'm not convinced of that at all. Also, we know that good news today does not equal a higher stock price tomorrow. Oh, man, well, I know I saw one of the videos was the pre-Black Friday sale, but one of them came out today because I think that pre-Black Friday sale ended today. So unless the guy was, jerking me around here, because it says on the website that they have Black Friday. And to be fair, there was some discounted electronic junk on there. Mini waffle irons are buy two, get one free. All different types of characters. Batman, Pokemon, all that, I forget all of them. But so they had those. It was $22.99, I believe. Buy two, get one free. Perfect gift for the the college students and whatnot. I'll check it out this coming week because I thought maybe it was a little early, but it's confusing and their website is not exactly the best. I mean, I think they went back to using like a WordPress or something to cut costs. I don't know.
For a minute.
Pretty bad though.
Isn't Blockbuster and it's not Toys R Us. So that leaves me with one question: why haven't they covered yet? We're 75 cents on a pre-split basis right now. What are they waiting for? Possibly another pandemic? COVID has been pretty quiet so far. The writer's strike is over.
What the hell is he talking about? Like, we just saw that the short interest is being reported at around 9% and change. And you say, why haven't the shorts covered? What am I missing? It was over 20%, right? And now it's 9. I mean, this is not rocket surgery. It was 20, now it's 9. Oh, they just must have hit F3 and poofed it, right? They yeeted those shares out. I mean, This guy is a prime conspiratorial thinker. That's the reality. This guy already believed in a bunch of garbage before this thing even started. And now he's just applying his, problem critical thinking skills, quote unquote, to this. That's the only thing I can come up with. This guy already questioned whether we landed on the moon back in, the late 60s. He was already predisposed to that.
Pure recovery mode. Why don't they just cover the trade and move on? What could be holding them up? Could it be they can't possibly cover this trade until the market crashes? Well, let's review the evidence.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
For some in the market almost always means bad news for someone else. I'm of the opinion that the hedgies are very, very short and have been waiting for a big...
Well, it sounds like he's saying that it's a zero-sum game when he says that. And that's not necessarily... it's not true. It could just be that the company is doing poorly. Anyway, options can be a zero-sum game. But in the stock market, they generally say that it's not.
Sell-off in the market that hasn't shown up yet. Let's take a look at the world through the hedgie's eyes for a change. Check out this chart from Zero Hedge. Single stock short selling. Hedge fund U.S. single stock short flows increasing for a record 14 consecutive weeks, according to Goldman Sachs. I don't know about you, but that sounds like they are very, very short. Now, to support my theory, I offer you this headline from MarketWatch only 3 days ago. Hedge funds are betting that stock...
on what stocks, though? We're having a market rally.
Change. Check out this chart from Zero Hedge. Single stock short selling. Hedge fund U.S. single stock short flows increasing for a record 14 consecutive weeks, according to Goldman Sachs. I don't know about you, but that sounds like they are very, very short. Now, to support my theory, I offer you this headline from MarketWatch only 3 days ago. Hedge funds are betting that stocks will fall and indexes will rise at the same time. While most of my gold bugs like Black Arrow and Dom Pantaleo are rooting for the entire system to collapse, taking the stock market down with it, when it comes to AMC, I have been rooting for surprise upside rallies to burn the predatory short hedge funds. Happy birthday to subscriber and supporter Iron Manny. Why do I always say that? Here's why. From Reuters, systematic hedge funds
Iron Manny
post-US CPI stocks rally, according to Goldman Sachs. Global hedge funds that use algorithms to trade suffered their worst single day this year on Tuesday, as softer than expected U.S. inflation numbers sparked a hefty stocks rally, a Goldman Sachs note showed. Keep this in mind. What else happened on Thursday besides AMC getting clobbered for no apparent reason? Let's review Bloomberg's post-close report. New economic data reinforces speculation the Fed is done hiking rates. A new tranche of economic data today underscored the U.S. economy is slowing down, giving the Fed Reserve room to end its aggressive interest rate hiking campaign to quell inflation. Continuing applications for U.S. unemployment benefits rose to the highest level in almost 2 years. Initial jobless claims... Recurring jobless claims, a proxy for the number of people continuously receiving unemployment benefits, marked its 8th straight week of increases. Guys, check me if I'm wrong, but this all sounds like great news for the markets and bad news for the short hedgies. Do you agree? On your screen, you can see the chart that I mentioned.
No, I don't agree.
Continuing U.S. jobless claims rise to 2-year high, but factory production also fell by more than expected, and home builder sentiment hit the lowest level of the year. What this means for the Fed? Now the fight shifts from inflation to preserving economic growth and averting recession, said Jamie Cox at Harris Financial Group. Stocks were little changed and bonds climbed on the data. What this tells me, guys, is the Fed has...
what it tells you. Well, I didn't really want to get into the wider picture just yet. Just my opinion, and there's no reason to listen to my opinion. So I really don't even really care to get into it. But I mean, this is a manifestation of bag holders' dementia, I believe. He's listening to the analysts. He's listening to the pundits. This is essentially a pivot narrative. So he's pushing the pivot narrative again. And all of this is based on one CPI print. When we know the Fed has said it's not about one print, it's about establishing a trend. You can't establish a trend with one fucking data point. The whole narrative is garbage. And you don't think that tech stocks rallying 40, 50 fucking percent year to date is an inflationary pressure. I mean, this really is preying on the dumbest and the most susceptible and the most eager to buy something, in my opinion. And you got to be a fucking brain dead NPC Muppet to entertain any of this shit, in my opinion. So all of this stuff that he's talking about now, all of this macro, all of this large picture Fed stuff, it's garbage because we've seen the Fed go back and forth, wishy-washy, blah, 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 blah. So what happens when, and I say when, the next CPI is going in the wrong direction? Well, then the narrative will probably be that it, even though we established a trend on one data point last month, well, this one data point doesn't disestablish the trend. I mean, it's garbage. These people are paid to pump this bullshit. Plain and simple. And on some level, people like Frank and Donahue George and all these clowns, they know this. So why? Why is it okay to use this to justify your garbage pump when at the end of the day, at the very least, doesn't it make more sense to be skeptical of this kind of shit and maybe even adopt a contrarian view? Because does it make sense? I mean, I think that it makes sense to question this kind of shit, especially when you are already somebody who doesn't trust the mainstream media narratives, and probably for good reason. But that doesn't mean that we can wildly speculate, oh, the media told us this, and so we'll believe it, but it actually means this because, I also listen to Zero Hedge. I mean, give me a fucking break, dude. You want to have your cake and eat it too. Believe selectively what you want, cherry pick data, and make it apply. And at the end of the day, you're just stuck in a bad fucking trade. Stuck in a goddamn bad trade. That's the reality.
Economy with its interest rate hikes, and it finally got around to wrecking the job market.
And yeah, you were here. I think you were hearing a cat. This microphone's a little bit sensitive. I got to dial in the gain. But, what did he say? He said something.
Also fell by more than expected, and home builder sentiment hit the lowest level of the year. What this means for the Fed? Now the fight shifts from inflation to preserving economic growth and averting recession, said Jamie Cox at Harris Financial Group.
How in the fucking world are they shifting from averting inflation when you're at 2 times the target? Oh, congratulations. We're now 2x the target. So we won. No, that's not how it fucking works. And I don't care what the fuck these analysts say. Their job is to be bullish and pump the stock market, which is inherently a worthless enterprise. These stocks have no value except what we give them, what people give them by trading them at certain prices. Otherwise, there is nothing. It is worth nothing. Has no inherent value. So, what do you think the people that are literally employed in this business are going to do? They're going to pump it any chance they get, and that's what we've seen for the last year with this garbage. Nothing really has changed. There is a mountain of worry. Now, I'm not saying it's right to be bearish, but come on. Come on. It doesn't help the market rallying, 10% last week. That you know, that's bullish, right?
Stocks were little changed, and bonds climbed on the data. What this tells me, guys, is the Fed has been successful at strangling the economy with its interest rate hikes, and it finally got around to wrecking the job market. Historically, the last thing it needs to do to stop hiking, and higher bond prices confirm that.
The job market? Oh, okay. What's unemployment? What is the unemployment figure currently? It's nowhere near what the Fed would need it to be to even think about cutting fucking rates. I mean, you're kidding me. You are absolutely fucking kidding me. This guy's delusional. He has no clue. He's running off of a narrative.
This market bull could stay around longer than expected. And I need
lower fucking rates. God damn.
40 to 1.
So stupid.
Come off a record 14 weeks of short selling. That's the hedge funds. And they have some other challenges to face that we don't. By now, most of you have heard what happened in South Korea regarding short selling, but let's do a lap around the world to see what hedge funds are currently dealing with to find a clue about the trade against AMC that seems impossible to cover for them. From Reuters, South Korea to bring retail short selling rules in line with institutions.
Impossible to I mean, this is one insidious fucking grifter right here. This guy, man, I don't know if we've given him enough credit for being a fucking insidious grifter. Wow.
Plan to loosen stock short selling rules for retail investors while tightening rules for institutional and foreign investors to promote a level playing field in the market. The government introduced a controversial ban on short selling in the stock market.
Oh yeah, it sounds level to me.
Moving over to China from Reuters, exclusive. China asks brokerages to curb leveraged stock trades. China's securities watchdog is asking brokerages to restrict leverage available to hedge funds that borrow large sums of money via a complex derivative business to trade stocks.
What do you do? Just search Google News for hedge funds and, you know, see what came up and try to tie it all together in a failed Marantz Rants connecting the dots segment. I mean, that's what it looks like. We're going back to September here. September 6th. Okay. But that was before everything was fine again. That was before everything was fixed. That was before inflation was gone. There's another one. He cut off the date on that one. Nice. Treasury market. Leverage trading. Oh, it must be related to AMC. Clearly they're doing it to cover their AMC shorts, right? Consolidated audit trail. Oh, yes. Yes, that's relevant. Absolutely. Oh, I want to hear this.
Guys, I am not an investment advisor. This is not investment advice. I will never tell you to buy, sell, or hold any security or cryptocurrency. But the point I'm trying to make is, as depressing as it is to see AMC falling due to the hedgies and Adam Aron's ape, his investment in a bankrupt gold mine while sexting, getting himself embroiled in a blackmail scandal, the unnecessary reverse split, and then the ridiculously timed dilution announcement killing yet another rally, we have nothing but blue skies ahead until December 1st when Beyonce drops. It's the hedge funds that are effed up right now and not us. So I was nibbling on the stock again today on dips and even picked up the $8 strike calls expiring on Friday, December 1st.
Wow.
Guys, let's review. Total revenue grew by 45.2% compared to quarter 3. Net earnings grew by $239 million to a $12.3 million profit compared to a net loss of $226 million. Guys, we finished the quarter with $729 million in liquidity. I mean, we even found out we're going to start selling our popcorn in 2 more food chains. I've got nothing but good news ahead. The hedge funds, in comparison, have nothing but trouble ahead. And all I need is 1 white swan or 1 black swan to kick off the party. And how about a little more good news? AMC Movie Theater opens next to North Station. After 3 years of darkness, one downtown Boston movie theater has again turned on its projectors. AMC Causeway 13, a new 13-screen, 66,000 square foot location of the cinema chain, debuted next to TD Garden at the Hub on Causeway on Thursday. The site was formerly occupied by a location of the upscale ArcLight Cinemas, which opened just months before COVID-19 struck. After staying closed through April of 2021, ArcLight shut down for good as the pandemic decimated the movie theater business. AMC purchased the site last December. Guys, I just want you to remember that we've got a lot to look forward to. There's 45 more days for 2023. Okay, and look at this headline from Deadline. AMC Entertainment will lean into concert films after Eras Tour success. Our phone has been ringing off.
Right, 45 days. And doesn't it, what was the figure that they needed? How much did they need to make in those 45 days in order to do what everybody thinks they're apparently going to do? I don't know. I saw the number earlier. Let's see. I don't know where I saw it. Need shadow stars to help out with that. Anyway, just looking at everything here. It looks like Taylor Swift is pretty much plateaued. Now, we don't have the weekend's numbers yet, I guess, but daily numbers through Thursday. Last weekend it did, 2, 4. Well, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. 5 million. That's awesome. See what else we got here. Hunger Games. Estimated so far. Okay. I want to go back to one thing that he said too. Back here. Just quickly. New Marvel movie isn't doing great. That's what, I think that's what you said. Somebody said. So, I'm just trying to find something here real quick. All right, so I'm looking at the, I'm just looking at the balance sheet here on stock analysis, and this is the most recently reported quarter, 3, and all the way to the left here. So I'm looking at gross margin, operating margin, lower. And I'm looking at EBITDA actually lower, slightly. Okay. And look at that. Oh, the debt's down. 20 million. Sweet. But I mean, unfortunately, the shareholders' equity is still negative. I'm looking for that. Let's see, where is it? That figure that they reported. Well, anyway. Now, TradingView puts it the other way, so the most recent is on the right here, which is kind of confusing. Right, so if you look at the total revenue versus the cost of goods sold, right, you can see that the cost of goods sold is higher right along with the revenue. So I'm not really sure what is so exciting about this here. But that's typical to pump, revenue number. Let's celebrate the revenue. Okay. That's enough of that. By the way, I have to search for AMC stock now because if I just search for AMC, I get all of this garbage. It's actually kind of interesting. So I do my normal search. Half of the stuff that comes up is for AMC Network. A lot of it is in another language. I don't know what's going on here. But something within the YouTube algorithm changed around this recently. And I'm not really sure. But let me go back up because we have another predictor here, right? Zero data. Check it. Oh, he's not checking it today? Uh-oh.
All right. So apparently,
this guy, boy, I can already sense the mood has changed. Let's see. Let's see how.
Something, right? It's always something. So apparently, I recorded on the wrong microphone. So I'm going to do a quick recap of what I talked about in my weekly update and prediction. So I'm going to do a quick recap what I talked about in my weekly update and prediction.
Wow. So nice color changing microphone there. Sounds terrible. Probably way too expensive. Overdriven. So he used the okay. I mean, that sucks, but
go ahead and also edit this details, thumbnail, change, boom, and
wow,
stream.
Absolutely enthralling.
Quickly go and then get off of here. So basically, I'm going to start off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in an overall bull flag, all right? Bitcoin's in an overall bull.
Yeah, let's start with Bitcoin.
I do expect it to have one more pop to the upside before overall pulling back because RSI is getting extremely overbought on the bigger time frames. Now, as far as the monthly time frame, it's about to get absolutely crazy. We have this breakout of this falling wedge. We have the Bollinger Bands getting tight. We have the green weekly monthly MACD, and then we have the weekly buy signals on the super trend. Like, Bitcoin is about to go absolutely crazy. Crypto bull.
Yes, because it can only go up.
Okay, so I talked about that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And in the video, you could probably.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now, on SPY. basically what I said about SPY is I believe SPY's topping out, guys. We still have, and I'm going to give you guys the reason why I think SPY's topping out. Now, SPY has something really, really bullish going on, which is the monthly or the weekly MACD starting to curl up, but it is not yet crossed. So until we get a green candle, it is not over yet. And we've seen it where SPY's come all the way up, and then the monthly MACD just drop back down. And we've seen this on the green where it comes all the way up, and it looks like it's about to go bearish, but then it comes all the way back up. So we've seen this before. It has not crossed green yet. So it has bearish MACD on the weekly. We also have a weekly sell signal. Then if we go ahead and pop on the Bollinger Bands, you can see on the 4-hour time frame, the Bollinger Bands are getting extremely tight, explaining that volatility is coming. And then if we go down to the 2-hour time frame, we have bearish divergence. You can see that price is trending up while RSI is trending down. We have MACD red. We have MACD red on the 4-hour time frame. We have RSI oversold, overbought. These are all very, very signs of a stock that's topping out and losing momentum. Now, the thing about divergences is that they always play out, but this is what happens. Price will tend to drift before they play out. So if it's a bullish divergence, price is going to drift down before it plays out. And if it's a bearish divergence, price is going to drift up before it plays out. And that's exactly what's...
Oh, divergences always play out, huh? Okay.
It does break above 452. So
except
452,
no.
Come back down and use it as support. If you do see it break above 452 using it as support, you're going to see a decent pop to the upside, possibly going to the gap at 454 to 455. There's a gap fill up there, and it could possibly fill that gap. But for me, I think SPY's topping out in this range. I don't think it has enough momentum to break through. This isn't what you want to see when you're getting this much resistance from a stock, and you have this much resistance. You can see the Bollinger Bands are up here. It's a major resistance line. This isn't what you want to see when you're approaching this. Also, SPY is extremely overextended. RSI is almost overbought on the daily time frame. You can see that the MACD is starting to curl down. You can see that we have multiple gap fills to the downside. I believe that this was a short squeeze, and I believe that it's starting to top out. Now, again, if we get above 452 and use that as support, you could see a nice push to the upside from SPY, but I don't believe that's the case. So your question is going to be, what do I think the weekly update prediction is going to be? Well, I'll tell you last week that I predicted a green week for SPY. And if we look at the weekly candle, we got a green week. I predicted a red week for GameStop. We did get a green week, so I did get that one wrong. And I predicted a red week for AMC.
Oh, yes. All the
so I did get two
pros use Webull charts.
I'm going to be giving you new predictions here in a short second. Now,
with all those fucking lines.
Monday coming up to retest this 452 level and get rejected. You can see that the alligator starting to curl down. Again, this is not really a bull flag type consolidation to me. You could say potentially a bull flag type consolidation because you do have this range here. But if we break below the levels of 448.
Oh, technical analysis. Yes.
Above 452.
Well, I don't think any of these moves.
What I'm thinking is most likely going to happen is we're going to break below this 458, get rejected, and then...
He just said it was a short squeeze.
Coming back down rapidly to fill those gaps. Why do I think this? We have the bearish divergence. Price is clearly trending up while RSI is clearly trending down. We have the MACD showing that momentum is starting to fade. And again, we still have on the bigger time frames an overall downtrend. We also have the MACD on the weekly time frame. It is also still bearish. Even though it is curling up, it is still bearish. And then if we go ahead and look at the alligator as well, it is showing a little bit of bullishness, but I do believe that this is going to be the top. We have this basic wedge.
MACD can curl up and still be bearish.
Top to the upside. I really don't.
But if it's curling down, it's
52 level. But if it does,
what?
See it come up to that 455, 454 level gap.
He just contradicted himself.
Downside that I think it's going to have to come back
like 3 times.
Gaps. And again, in my personal opinion, I believe that it's topping out. So my prediction for SPY is going to be a red week. What's up, Doc? What's up, Tom? What's up, Mario? DH, what's up?
So market's going to be green this week.
Prediction. SPY is red. Okay, prediction for SPY is red. I could also go into more evidence that it's probably going to be a red week for the market. As you guys can see, SQQQ has a green weekly MACD. It has a green.
I mean, okay, why are you citing SQQQ? It's literally an inverse fucking ETF. What are you talking about? Okay, God. Yes, if the lagging yeah, exactly. If the lagging indicators show it, it'll surely happen. Exactly. I'm glad somebody gets it.
4-hour MACD, it's breaking out of this.
That's funny.
Sold, so it's potentially reaching its bottom here. So our SQQQ looks like it's potentially reaching its bottom here. And this is also why I think we're reaching the top of the market. You can see that the MACD is starting to curl up. So again, multiple signs that I do think the market.
Why would you analyze
if we were to see a green week? It'd probably be a small green doji type candle, which would be indicative of a top of a rally. Now the thing is that I don't like is that we don't have.
Yes, because that's what they always mean. Because in this market environment, especially with these high speed traders and all this shit. Oh yeah, you can trust single candle patterns. Single candlesticks means something. I mean, give me a fucking break.
Insinuate that we will see that pop, but still we could have that downside by the end of the
technical analysis.
Locking in
like this is so silly.
for SPY. Now, if you do look at the daily time frame, we do have multiple dojis, which are normally indicated at the end.
In my opinion.
Now, GameStop, I literally think is in this section here. I'm also going to show the data that you guys need to know for this week. So for this week, we have FOMC on Tuesday, and then we have durable goods on Wednesday. Now, these are both very, very important. Obviously, FOMC is going to be more important. It's going to be very, very volatile, but those are the only two things that we have to worry about this week. That potential day, I'm thinking we could see a green day Monday on SPY, and then potentially see a red day on FOMC.
I mean, I doubt it, because this is so just
when you guys see
discombobulated.
Now, as far as data for AMC and GME, you guys can see that the short interest is at 20% for GME, utilization's at 85%, cost of borrow is at 2.96%, days of cover is at 24.36%, shares on loans at 72.73 million. For AMC, it's at 7.80% short interest, utilization is at 47.70%, cost of borrow is at 1.79%, days of cover is at 1.22%, shares on loans at 22.
Wow, amazing squeeze coming.
Looking at this could change by the morning, but here are your short shares available to borrow. 500,000 for GME, which is not a lot, which is bullish. AMC has
who cares? What relevance is this? Who gives a fuck?
This shows it would do. Now, for our GME technicals, I think GME is going to have a green week. Okay, I think GME is going to have a green week. I think GME is about to have an amazing recovery. Again, it is time, but
so I love this data zero data. You know, he thinks that it's going to have this a green week, red week. Based on what? Oh, it just has to, you know, I feel like it's going to da-da-da-da. Yeah, yes, feeling again. There it is. Feeling. And yes, Data Zero found the economic calendar. He'll be talking about the dollar and bonds soon. Oh, great. Just what we need. Another idiot
I think Jamie's going
talking about shit he doesn't understand. I mean, me talking about that stuff and not understanding it isn't enough. I mean, really, we need another idiot talking about it.
SPY, green for GME. Why do I think that? Well, let me go ahead and explain to you guys. You can see that GME's price has been trending down, but RSI has been trending up. This is bullish divergence. We also have a massive falling wedge on GME, and we are forming a possible inverse head and shoulders with your shoulder here, a head here.
In what world is that RSI trending up, by the way? I don't know that I would say that. Oops, I did the wrong one. Crap. Shoot. I keep... Well, I'll just put it back on. Actually, I like this one better here. I mean, this is a weekly time frame. This is a daily time frame. You know, this arrow here is when Ryan Cohen took over. So what are we at? We're at a roughly 50% loss since Ryan Cohen took over. That's leadership. You have, you know, lower highs in the price and in the RSI at 3 points here. No. I'm not really seeing the divergence, bro. And then if you switch to weekly, I mean, it really becomes clear. Yeah. In fact, you even have RSI making higher high here on this higher high. And then you have, you know, both the trend in price and RSI down. I don't know what the hell he's smoking, but never heard a broker trader use the term inverse head and shoulders when referring to a chart. Yeah, because they don't. Because it's voodoo. Hey, Charlotte, how you doing? I made it. Yes, you made it. I made it. We all made it.
And forming a shoulder here, which would break out of this huge falling wedge and causing a massive pump to the upside, which would lead into what potentially I could believe is the disbelief rally. So, I'm thinking GME.
And he's... Oops. Oh. And he's using this psychology of market whatever here chart as like a roadmap. Like,
so that is
I just that's
which would break out.
That's also questionable, right? Look at this
pump to the upside, which would.
So he sees that this looks like similar to the other chart he's looking at.
You can see that GME is
check it out.
Down, 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 down. But RSI has been trending up, 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 up. This is bullish divergence. We also have a.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. It's definitely not.
Massive.
That was the first part.
And we are forming a possible inverse head and shoulders with your shoulder here, a head here, and forming a shoulder here, which would break out of this huge falling wedge and causing a massive pump to the upside, which would lead into what potentially I could believe is the disbelief rally. So I'm thinking GME.
The disbelief rally. Okay.
This will come with a little bit of pullback, some sideways action and chopping consolidation, but I think we're going to see a pop to the upside for GME in the near future. Now, as far as the short-term weekly prediction, I am thinking green, and here's why. Green, daily MACD, 4-hour MACD, green. Just side. If we look at the alligator, you can see that the alligator is starting to come.
That was on his side, not mine.
You can see that it's already flipped bullish. As far as predictions, I made this in the video. And the reason why I'm doing this live is because the video volume got messed up. But I'm basically just recapping the video very, very quickly. But basically, I think GME is going to consolidate, come back down for a retest of this $12.78 level, $12.75 level, and then start moving back to the upside. The fact that GME showed all of this strength Friday, moving towards $13 and almost breaking above it, getting those $13 calls in the money by Friday was extremely bullish. I did play $13 calls last week and took profit earlier.
Bull run. I also have it sped up a little bit. I got it on 1.5 speed. That might be why you think that. It also might not be why you think that, and you might be right. But he just said that he thought that this rally that just happened and everything a few minutes ago, he just said that he thought that was a short squeeze. So now he's talking about the strength of the stock on Friday. This is discombobulated and, quite frankly, regarded. I'm not going to go back to the section where he said it was a short squeeze in the overall market, or a short covering rally is probably more accurate. But he said that earlier. Now he's citing the strength of GameStop as a reason why it will be green this week.
For a retest of this $12.78 level, $12.75 level, and then start moving back to the upside. The fact that GME showed all of this strength Friday, moving towards $13 and almost breaking above it, getting those $13 calls in the money by Friday, was extremely bullish. I did play $13 calls last week and took profit earlier in the week before Friday. But if GME breaks below $13 here on Monday, pulling back, not financial advice, $13 calls could be a potential play for GME again this week. And I will be putting out plays in the Discord, letting you guys know what's up. Also, there's a potential cup.
Sounds like a great way to lose money to me.
And if we did have a pullback and retest $12.78 as our support and move back to the upside, that would form the handle. You can see your cup here, and then that would form your handle, giving us a breakout if we can break above 15 cents.
God, cup and handle. Give me a fucking break.
So you want to see GME break.
It was a short squeeze. You said it.
And 50 cents to see a nice move to the upside. Quickly, just a reminder, SPY key levels are going to be 452. If we see that used as support, you're going to see a nice move up. If we see 448, 25 used as resistance, you're going to see a move down. There's also a potential bull flag forming here, but this could be a head and shoulders as well, because you have your shoulder here, a head forming here, and if we move down and get a bounce, that would form a second shoulder.
That's not a head and shoulder
line, and again, a big move to the downside. I think SPYs, once it does start to pull back, it's going to pull back very, very quickly, and it's going to happen fast. Now back to GME. I think GME needs to break above this sloping resistance that you guys can see here, and you guys can also see if it breaks above this sloping resistance.
All right, I get it.
The upside,
and that get to the feature presentation.
I don't like to believe it, but the meme stocks move inverse of the market. Yes, the market going up can help them, but it is better when the market leave it. But the
oh my God, here we go. Listen to this.
Pull back and SPY. As people don't like to believe it, but the meme stocks move inverse of the market. Yes, the market going up can help them, but it is better when the market is.
Oh, okay. Is that so? All right. Well, let's see. let's. Let's see about that. Okay. I mean, maybe you know, maybe it's flipped. You know what? I don't know why I'm trying to do this visually. There's no reason to do this visually. There's a much better way to do. I mean, I suppose it is visually, but we don't have to guess. There is an indicator called correlation coefficient, and I'm going to tell it that I want to compare it to SPY. And now we get this pane down here. It's got a line that I will make darker or thicker, I suppose. And the way that this works is the zero line is in the middle here, and that indicates, you know, a neutral correlation. And -1 would represent a perfect inverse correlation, and +1 would represent a direct correlation, a non-inverse correlation. And I know, gee, for my money, you know, just looking at it here, wow, I see it hanging out way above the zero line, a hell of a lot more than I see it below the zero line. You know, this was the big sell-off in 2021 after the squeeze. The market was going up, I believe, then, and here's the AMC squeeze right here, and we're looking at the GameStop chart. But that was completely correlated with the market, and that sell-off was uncorrelated. So he's wrong again. Look at that. It just, you know, for all of 2022, it was essentially varying degrees of direct correlation. Wrong.
This upcoming week, if we do see a pullback in SPY, as people don't like to believe it, but the meme stocks move inverse of the market. Yes, the market going up can help them, but it is better when the market is moving down, especially stocks like Apple, Nvidia, these stocks that they use for collateral for these types of short positions held by the banks. They use those blue chip stocks as collateral for AMC and GME short positions, and that's why we tend to see AMC and GME go up.
Oh, I want a citation for that. They use the blue chips as collateral for their AMC and GameStop shorts. Yeah, they need so much collateral, borrowing at 1-2% right?
Blue chip stocks.
Fuck out of here.
Back. So all of this would correlate with a move back to the upside for GME, and this is why I think GME is set up to have a green week this week. Also, RSI is not overbought. It has plenty of room to move to the upside, and it's showing extreme amount of bullishness, also possibly forming this bull. It's kind of like a bull.
Is that why it's pointing down? Okay.
Like a bullish channel and or, you know, wedge. It depends on how you would look at it.
That's not a bullish channel. You're literally drawing a line that goes down. How is that a bullish channel? Oh, it popped above it. Get the fuck out of here. This is the worst technical analysis I've ever seen.
Nonetheless. So this is what I'm looking at for.
What? Every pattern is a fucking bullish pattern for you. You're a fucking idiot.
It's going to have a
God damn.
Now there is a potential that we do not get back above $15 and have to
so brain dead
back down to test $12.50. If that's the case, it could take a little bit more time, but I still think we're going to see a green week. That would probably all happen in 1 week. But I see GME looking very, very good here in the near future. So this is what I'm looking at for GameStop stock. And again, your prediction is going to be a green week for GameStop. So for your
good, we've heard that 6 times. Can we get to the other one now?
For GME. Now let's move in.
Here we go
to
red
AMZ. Thank you.
Green.
I miss you guys too. Thank you. So
yeah, he misses you paying him money.
I made an announcement. I'm not promising anything, but I'm going to start doing the lives again. So I will have some live streams this week, okay? I will have some live streams this week. I made an announcement.
Got to drum up some excitement.
Live streams this week, okay?
Got to drum up some excitement.
During the market this week, okay? So I'm coming back. I don't know if it's going to be every single day. I'm not promising that, but what I am promising you guys is I will be back this week, doing some streams.
He must have lost his job.
Guys, and be ready. Look out for them. Put the note.
He's free during the week now.
Make sure you subscribe because they unsubscribe people. I will be back this week doing some streams. I'm going to try for Monday.
They unsubscribe people.
Just ease back.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure everything's good. But we're going to try for Monday through Friday. If you don't see me on Monday, it's going to be Tuesday. But that is a promise that I will have some live streams this week returning back to you guys. Now, let's go ahead and move back into AMC. And I'm sorry, guys. Every time I do this at night, my computer just acts so weird. I don't know if it's Weeble or what the case is. It's only this website, and it only happens when I do this.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's a Chinese.
And go and give you your prediction. So far, AMC or GME is green and SPY's red. Now, AMC, everyone wants to know AMC. So AMC, I want to point out a couple of things. AMC could potentially be forming a bottom. This would be an inverse head and shoulders. Right here's your shoulder, right here's your head, and if we
we got another bottom picker.
Like we could come back down and maybe go to like $7.35, but if we can maintain above like $7.30, $7.35, it's going to form an inverse head and shoulders. We're going to see a big pop to the upside. So it would be something like this, basically consolidate, and then you could see a potential inverse head and shoulders move, especially if we break above the sloping resistance.
Well, it's really too bad that that's not how it works, but okay.
Here's why. So we just got a green weekly candle print.
Oh my God.
RSI is at 30, okay? If we go ahead and look at the 4-hour MACD, RSI is, guess what? Oversold. MACD is green. That is a buy signal. We're also in a falling wedge. I think AMC and GME are potentially going to have a decent pop to the upside this week. Don't get too excited. It could take one more week, but they're setting up for a move. It could take one more week than this, but they're setting up for a move. So I think this week
they're setting up for a move,
and potentially a big one. If not this week, next week. Again, don't.
This is the worst grift ever. You know, say that you're basing everything off the data, and then you think, I feel, and misinterpret the data. So interpret the data wrong, and at the end of the day, I just feel it's going to be green. They're setting up for a pop to the upside. If it stays at this level, it's going to go up. No, it doesn't work like that. If it stays at that level, that doesn't mean it's going to go up. How many times has this guy said that and it hasn't played out that way? You got to have some fucking balls to be this wrong and to keep doing it as if you haven't been. When will these guys acknowledge that they've been perpetually, fractally wrong?
Get too excited.
When mea culpa?
We don't know what's going to happen yet. We know there's a lot of manipulation, but from what I'm seeing,
yeah, don't get too excited because I could be wrong. Like last
these stocks
dozen weeks,
okay, you got RSI oversold. We got green MACD. We're going to have a green week. We also have bullish divergence on AMC. So I want to show you guys the bullish divergence here.
Now he's getting emotional. We're going to have a green week. We're going to have a green week
in the video.
Yeah, sounds like he's trying to convince himself of this.
You see RSI trending up, but price is trending down. That is bullish divergence, guys. So not only do we have bullish divergence, we have MACD green on the 4-hour time frame. We have
no, it's not
candle print on the MACD weekly. Guys, we're going to see a green week. We're going to see a green week. We're going to see a
wow.
Week. We got the Bollinger Band starting to get tight, starting to constrict right here.
He's really desperate here, isn't he? Wow.
In my personal opinion. So everyone, guys, this is what you need to know to be ready for this week. I'm going to quickly just insert a quick ad. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to insert this real quick and then continue on.
Oh, an ad, huh?
All right. So we have the Bollinger Bands here on the 15-minute time frame. Look at the MACD.
I didn't have an ad. I don't know why. Oh, wait, I think I know why. Wow, okay. Let's go to the squeaky toy.
Apes had never seen FUD like this. It's a phenomenon. Things are going absolutely crazy, and there's attacks from every single angle. They want to kill Ape's soul and faith. No one should care if we invest in a quote-unquote bad stock. No one would warn us. They don't give a crap, but they care when they're losing. Simple logic there. They want us to sell so bad, but guess what I'm going to do? I will load up on more, because F them. Nothing to lose. Hold bananas tight. I was born poor. No surrender. This ape says the
And you will stay poor and likely die poor with that attitude. I mean, I just can't believe that. I mean, I don't even. What do you even do with it? What do you even fucking do with this? You know, for real. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Wow. Okay.
Hold bananas tight. I was born poor. No surrender. This ape says the U.S. stock market is the most corrupt entity there is. Half the float traded today, 253 million shares. What normal stock does that? The after hours price action, the ping pong in between 540 and 850 every second like it was nothing. The open market ended at plus.
Okay. 253 million shares? I don't think so, Tim. Volume was 13.22 million shares on Friday. I have no idea what actual day this is referencing. This video came out 3 hours ago. It says 20 hours ago here. Who knows when he pulled this? It doesn't have an actual date. So that's half the float. I mean, yeah, before the split maybe? I don't know. 540 and 850? Really? No. When is this from? It's not even timely.
Plus 33%. We're now down minus 11 after hours. This was as of a few days ago, of course. Retail investors that cannot trade can just watch while institute.
Oh, a few days ago, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, a few days.
Why is no one reacting?
Fucking clown.
And not only this, what about the fails to deliver, the short sale restriction list, the cost to borrow, etc.? I'm so frustrated over all this.
Because none of that matters.
This says...
Yeah, because you've been programmed to be by these simulated financial advisors. And those are simulated catalysts. And really, we could just say fake catalysts. And these people believed that the moon landing was fake. They believed that, you know, they don't believe official, you know, facts and data in general. So they're predisposed to this conspiratorial thinking. Unfortunately, this one hits close to home. Because, you know, like they're actually losing. Nobody's losing money necessarily because they don't believe in the moon landing. Generally speaking, I don't think. But this is different. They made actual personal decisions based on this shit that is completely cracked out. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It debunks itself. And I was born poor.
Then they were short ape. Hundreds of millions, tens of billions, whatever. Ape dropped to 66 cents. They did not cover. Why not? Why pass up huge profits at such a low price? They can't locate the shares to close. Not then, not now, not ever. Checkmate. Now comment down below.
So let's jump back to fucking July.
Big issue with the short seller.
Pull a tweet from then.
Or comment down below.
God,
what you think?
Why are you talking about ape?
66 cents per share. This ape said it perfect. Why would any investment company, hedge fund, whoever, pay 1,000% interest to borrow a $3 stock if said stock was thriving? I'll tell you my hypothesis. They can't do anything else. They're trapped. They can't exit. They can't close. They're stuck. Short is the only way to go. Go AMC. This ape says I don't pay attention to shills. Neither should you. Not worth my time. My time is valuable. It's not my job to babysit people and do research for them. I can't cure stupid, and I can't waste my time trying to do so. If you can't see the potential in AMC and ape, then that...
We shouldn't listen to shills? Okay. I agree. I agree. Look at all this crap. Benji, creative investor, New York Angelo. Benji, creative investor, Benji. Lottery fucks. We already watched that one. Benji. I don't know who this is. Maybe I do. Benji. Benji. These fucking clowns. All right. Speaking of CSI, crime scene investigations on scene.
What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, boy, I got a video for y'all to have with your coffee this morning. It is official. Al Matthew, a.k.a. Al from Boston, in Jordan, has filed their lawsuit against AMC. Now, to be clear, AMC is a nominal defendant, which means a byproduct, okay? And what that means is they are suing Citadel Global Markets, Citadel Securities, FTX, Alameda, Antara, New York Stock Exchange, Susquehanna, Mudrick Capital, Virtue Financial, Fox Business, NASDAQ, Goldman Sachs, and unknown defendants.
At least he said Susquehanna correctly.
That means defendants,
unlike
as a byproduct, are AMC,
Ow,
and Highcroft Mining, the DTCC, and FINRA. All right? Which basically I think they added them into the lawsuit so they could get depositions of them to expose what they know about the market manipulation, okay? Now,
oh, see, it was a genius move by Al Matthew.
200 pages long. It's just been sent to me, so I'll be spending.
I mean, Sonny Korax went over this. He's got 2 or 3 videos out on this already. Has CSI been on vacation or like what? Why? This is old news. This is a fucking clown lawsuit. This is the most ridiculous lawsuit that we've seen relative to this whole thing.
See also that a jury trial is demanded. All right, they do not want a judge trial. Way to go, Al and Jordan, for that. And scroll on down, and you see the table of contents.
Well, I mean, a jury trial is default. You would have to demand a bench trial, but whatever. I mean, whatever.
As soon as it was sent to me and the news was broken,
I haven't read it. Okay.
Can I report on this? And they said it.
The news has been broken for weeks.
So there it is. I'll put the.
What are you talking about?
If you want to read it, but just not.
He was here a little bit ago, Lynn.
On the
I don't know. He might still be lurking.
AMC Project Popcorn. Share count that we're doing. I got one more video on the final step that you have to take for that, and then I'll be reading this for the rest of the day. So with that, know I'm on top of it. Be blessed, and I will see you in the next video.
No, you won't. That will not happen. Okay. Well, it's all right. Let's see here. Let's just. Let's see where Magoo is.
Hey friends, welcome.
Silver, new message, decoded. Look at this. So 2 days ago, a silver decoded message. He must have gotten the decoder ring in the popcorn. I think, Lynn, did you say it was in the popcorn bags. Anyway, 3 days ago, breaking news, Dana Carvey, SNL star of Wayne's World, who knows? MLB, breaking news today, official vote passed, Oakland Athletics moving to Vegas. Cool. 3 days ago, AMC missing FTDs, $3.80 per share, price equivalent posted. Okay. I guess we have to do that one. I don't know why. Maybe I listened to half of it the other day. I forget.
AMC distribution. So there's this big conspiracy right now that the fails to deliver are being hidden. The real fails to deliver are being hidden. And I know Adam Aron addressed it at one point, and he said he couldn't talk about it. This was probably, 6 months ago? You guys remember that? When it was a big thing, and he said he couldn't talk about it, and he contacted the brokers, and he said he found out stuff, but he couldn't talk about it. So now, once again, it's
By the way, relevant questions that this guy asks on Twitter. Which race is the most peaceful? Which is the most peaceful race? I wish I were making that up. What the fuck?
A lot of people are posting different things, and it's trending on X, Twitter X. They're talking.
Correction, it's trending for you. I can't believe people are fooled by this still. I thought they knew about these things called algorithms, but I don't know. Yes, it's trending. It's trending.
It says here, so failed
globally
are missing for this period in yellow. You can't make this up. Crime is in front of you. We were about to blow the shorts, and guess who dropped the crime machine? Okay, that shows.
Yep. Again, every time. Adam Enron, every time it's about to run. See, it's about to run. They know it's about to run because they have their catalysts. Except the catalysts are fake. It's like, whose stock is it anyway? The game where the price is made up and the FTDs don't matter. I don't know. I just pulled that out of my ass, but that's what they think. And they know when it's going to run, and so does Adam Aron. And so every time it's going to run, Adam Enron does an Enron, he does a WorldCom, he does a Nortel, he does a savings and loan. Oh, yeah. He said they were about to blow the shorts. I'll roll it back, and I'll slow him down if he's indeed... Nope, he's not sped up. Yep, we were about to blow the shorts, and then they literally screwed it over again.
Yep. A lot of people are posting different things, and it's trending on X, Twitter X. They're talking about AMC. So it says here, so fails to deliver are missing for this period in yellow. You can't make this up. Crime is in front of you. We were about to blow the shorts, and guess who dropped the crime machine? Okay, that shows October 2nd through October 11th. Those are missing, supposedly. This other person says, this is not a faux shop. Please explain. And he tags Adam Aron and a bunch of other people. It's very interesting because back in 2021...
Oh, yes, it's Adam Aron's fault that the SEC didn't release the FTDs for every stock, by the way, not just AMC.
So I think that's why this gentleman is posting this. And you can see here, AMC Entertainment, June 18, 2021, the price. See, now, this is a price equivalency of $376 per share. Back then, it was like $72. Even this is not accurate, okay? There's so many crimes and so many games they're playing. It should be $720, not $376, because it should 10x. You all know we were at $72, right? So if you're doing a price equivalency, the all-time
10x.
June 18, 2021 should have been $720 per share, not $326 if you equate that to today.
But that's not how it works.
Any way you look at it, that's a big number, right? And that's when the fails to deliver were super high. June 18, 2021, we had... when did we have the short squeeze? When AMC stock was at its lowest. I think it was $1.40 in that range, $1.28, somewhere around there. Then it did the...
What is he talking about?
Right now, if you go back
Holy
in time,
fuck.
We're really at like a 75-cent AMC share pre split. Okay.
I love how that works. So the real price currently is like 75 cents. If you go back before the split, which I don't know why you would do that, because the split has taken effect. It's done. But then if you go back to June 18th, it should be $700 because it should have been 10x. Well, the price didn't close on June 18th at $72, by the way, first of all. So that's wrong. What did it close at? Good question. Let's see. June 18th. Well, 320. I can't look at it. I can't. Oh, damn it. Okay. I have to look somewhere else to get that price. Rewrite history to fit the narrative. Yeah, and the irony there is the whole thing, actually. Never mind. It's the whole thing. Let's see if I can get it on this one. Oh my God. I'm looking on Chart Exchange, see if I can get the price on there, but it looks like it is also adjusted for this stupid split and all that. So, and actually, Chart Exchange has it topping out at 625. This one tops out at 393. So I'm not making that up. Here's the Chart Exchange. It's kind of hard to see. It's a little bit small, but this right here, if you look over here at the H, it's going to say 726.20. So there's your 772, whatever. Now, I don't know if that's correct or what, but I'm just saying that's what he said and that's what's here, but that's not what everybody's saying. Certainly, TradingView is not showing that at all. So we're on daily candles still. We have daily. Yeah, these are dailies. So here we have a high of 393. I don't know. It's not 10x. And I don't believe it should be 10x. That actually gives me a little bit of evidence that Chart Exchange is potentially a sympathetic to the apes thing. I don't know. This kind of popped out of nowhere too. So who knows? But what I want to look at was this failure to deliver nonsense. And then go back to, 2021. But of course it's, wow, really? They're going to cut it off there? Sons of bitches. Look at that. Wow. They cut it off 2 years ago. So now we can't look at the summer of 21 on there. That's awesome. Okay, well, so much for that. We can look at it here, though, and see, do we see that correlation that they keep wanting to make exist there? I don't think so. I don't see it. All these here, this is all connected to the ape arbitrage stuff. All of these spikes here, I'm fairly convinced. And the other operations. But I mean, this was during an extreme sell-off. So to talk about FTDs as if it's somehow bullish, the evidence doesn't support that. So sorry. Evidence doesn't support that.
Okay.
Right.
So the conditions are right. I'm not saying we're going to short squeeze. I'm just saying the conditions are right. It could happen again. History does repeat itself often. I'm not saying it's going to do that. I'm just trying to give us the current news on AMC. Okay. So that is trending right now. Also, something that's very interesting is Citibank is in a lot of trouble. And as you know, Citibank partnered with AMC to do the ape scam. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. They partnered. There's a leak.
But they're not in trouble because of that, are they?
Citibank partnered with Aron to do the ape scam. The word scam is my opinion because it definitely was a scam. So take a look here. Citigroup will cut a large number of its workforce, CNBC reported Wednesday. Managers started informing employees on Wednesday and will continue to make cuts every day into next week. Okay. So people familiar with the matter told the outlet, under the leadership of CEO Jane Fraser, the third largest bank in the U.S. is embarking on its biggest corporate overhaul in nearly 2 decades, 20 years, splitting the bank into 5 business units with the heads of each business reporting directly to Fraser. How weird and creepy is this? In case for change is pretty clear. Our people want to succeed and our highest performers get behind this very quickly, Fraser said in an interview with CNBC last month.
I don't know that it's weird and creepy, but this guy can make anything weird and creepy, so I don't know. I don't know.
Group and its regional layers will be eliminated in the reorganization, the company previously said. Interesting. What's going to be eliminated? The bank's personal banking and wealth management and institutional clients group and its regional layers. Could they make that any more confusing? Comment below if you understand what kind of nonsense they're spewing out here. Okay? These are criminals we're working with, all right? Criminals we're dealing with, not working with. We're working against them. This other Frank's Place brought up, broker-dealers can be held primarily liable for failing to fulfill their gatekeeping responsibilities. Okay? Interesting. October 2nd, 2023, that was from... what is this? I don't even know who that is. Catherine McPhee? Oh, I think she was a singer. She's partnering with AMC, I guess. Okay, 7 hours ago, this is the volume AMC had from September 29 to October 16. These are the dates we're missing for the failure to deliver. Take a look at it yourself. October 16. They got September 29 through October 16, okay? Supposedly, those are the dates we're missing the fails to deliver. How are we missing fails to deliver? That's strange. And then this other thing I want to show you right here, the intrinsic value they're saying here is 86% below where it should be. They're saying $54 per share is the intrinsic value of AMC stock. I would agree with that. You know, at the
here's this again. Who is they?
Criminal con man Adam Aron diluted us again up to 350 million shares. We're still going to be far below the previous 520 million share float, okay, or 550 million share float. We're still going to be significantly lower than that. So the share price should be much higher, and we just had an amazing Q3 earnings. The second quarter in a row with positive.
What?
Q2 was 8 million positive net earnings. Q3 was 12 million positive net earnings. We're not bleeding cash. That's 6 months in a row AMC hasn't been bleeding cash, okay? That's a fact. It's not an opinion. AMC's...
Oh, my God. That's a fact. That's not opinion. So I love how it's a binary thing. Did they bleed cash or did they make money? Well, they made a lot of money. Obviously. In this world, I don't think that really cuts it. I think that is essentially considered a wash. Considered a wash. $12 million? Are you kidding me? What are you going to do with $12 million? When you have $5 billion of debt? I mean, give me a fucking break. And I, Charlotte says apes are somewhat brainwashed. They will hold to the end. And I say somewhat? Somewhat? No, they absolutely are completely brainwashed. But this guy, but here's my point. This is my point for today. Because I didn't really have time to get into what I wanted to because of some other things. But anyway, this guy was brainwashed before he became involved with AMC. This is a group of people that is predisposed to conspiracy theories. And there's a lot of characteristics that go along with that in a general sense. But I think that at this point, we're left with the moon landing deniers. We're left with the 9/11 and JFK conspiracy theorists. The similarities are too much there. I mean, like the denial of facts. I mean, that is the big one. Straight up denial of facts. Generally accepted, universally accepted facts. That's a problem. Okay, that's pathological. This guy, this is dangerous bullshit. Because somebody who's not predisposed to those conspiracy theories, but sees the confidence that they present this stuff with, and they're seemingly backing it up with facts. Look, he's showing something that says this. I don't know where this is from. We don't know where this is from, when it's dated from, who's saying that, what they're basing it on. I don't think there's any new people that are being fooled by this now. But it sets a pretty bad precedent.
Then it has been
all right, we're almost done with this. And I got one article to look at, and then we're going to say good riddance to this crap for tonight.
As it was pre-pandemic. And the share float's lower than it was since then. So these are some really manipulative games the market makers are doing with AMC stock. I don't know why they're so fixated on
market makers. God, I don't know why this guy's fixated on being a fucking brain dead, fucking willfully comatose moron. That's not what the fucking market makers do. But you can't tell these fucking people anything because they literally have an alternate set of facts that they believe. Where does that sound familiar from?
Financial crimes specifically on AMC. They did this to GME, right? You guys know that for a fact. And they've moved on to destroying AMC, and they've been working hard on it. They've been putting their all into it.
Yeah, they did such a great fucking job destroying GameStop, right? No, GameStop destroyed itself. AMC destroyed itself. And also by, snowballing these retail brain dead investors into this whole thing and stringing them along, that was counterproductive too. I mean, don't get me wrong. Adam Enron, Ryan Cohen, all those fucking people. It takes at least two to tango, in my opinion. Unless you're into some woke, shit. But no, the market is a collective expression of value. All right.
My question is, when do we buy calls again? I made money on the last call I did. Is it time to buy a call now because they pushed it pretty low, or are we going to go lower? Comment below.
Spoken like a true degen. When do we buy calls again?
What are you doing?
That's all. The only thing that matters. When can I buy call?
A call, or you're buying more shares, or you're selling. I want to know what you're doing.
Well, you don't buy short puts. Short put means you're selling a put.
What are you doing?
So whatever.
In our community, so we can kind of know what's going on.
If you are a savvy investor or trader, you're not doing anything with AMC. Let me be clear. If you are trying to make money, you're probably not trading AMC.
All right. So AMC's still trending on Twitter X almost daily now. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe.
For you, it is. Yeah.
The video.
That's called confirmation bias, buddy.
Talk to you soon.
You fell for it. Apparently. Oh, boy. Wow. This is garbage. The last thing, before I do that, did you see this piece from Charlie Gasparino in the New York Post yesterday? Wall Street's top cop needs to stop spinning the SEC's wheels and end meme stock insanity. Talks about Bed Bath & Beyond. Talks about GameStop. Talks about AMC. I want to refresh and get the newest comments here. Yes, hedge funds have figured out they can simply use an unlimited amount of, quote, naked shares at their disposal to crush retail, while Gary gives the green light to hedgies to ensure the market only makes money for the select few. Yeah, they only makes money for the select few, and unless you're smart enough to realize, hey, I need to go with these guys, not against them. Okay. Now, I'm just going to read this comment and I'll leave it right here. SEC is a corrupt organization of approximately 4,600 people with an average salary of around $205,000 per year. Nobody does much work around there. Really? Really? I mean, really? These are litigations. These are administrative proceedings, hearings, orders, cases that they're working on. Here's opinions and adjudicatory orders. I don't know if you see this, but Friday alone, there were 3 orders. Last week, there was over a dozen orders. And these are things like, this is for an individual. Okay, they're extending the time on that one, so that's kind of boring. I mean, I see a lot of footnotes here. I see a lot of footnotes. You know, if you ever wrote a paper and you had to use footnotes, that means you did some research on it. We could say the same thing about the House of Representatives. Yeah. And you could actually make a case for them doing nothing. Right? George fucking Santos. Okay, so the SEC absolutely does engage in a lot of shit. My favorite recently was this, and I don't know how we missed this, but I hadn't been paying attention to the news so much lately. But how about this one? Hacker group files SEC complaint against its own victim. Yes, I read that correctly. A notorious ransomware gang has filed a failure to report complaint against its own victim to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission after an alleged breach last week. So, this hacking group claims that it stole data from digital lending company Meridian Link on November 7th. And then they published a screenshot of a filled out form on the SEC's tips, complaint, and referrals page, submitting a tip or complaint that this company, Meridian Link, failed to report the fact that they were hacked. Who were they hacked by? They were hacked by the group that also submitted the complaint. I can't really see that this, I mean, this is kind of boneheaded. It's like calling the police because the guy that you just bought drugs from ripped you off. Officer, I paid for this much drugs. The guy only gave me this much drugs. Go arrest him. It's like, do you realize that you are, do you realize what you're saying, what you're doing? I don't know. Maybe they're, the good hackers of the East. I don't know. But anyway, that the SEC will investigate it, and they'll do everything. They'll figure it out. Let's see. There's a couple other news items here that I thought were interesting. That the White House coming out and say that Elon Musk's tweets about anti-Semitic, are problematic. Part of the larger Elon Musk denouement, or maybe better analogy would be coming off the rails. Interesting to see where that will be going. I hear they're coming out with the Roadster, though, sometime, so that's cool. Look for that with the Semi. What else we got? Stock market is changing. Maybe. That's about it. So we've got all this bullshit going on with Meet Kevin, whom I don't really, I could care less about Meet Breath Kevin, but it's interesting. I want to pop into this strongman video here just for a bit. And yeah, so I want to, this is it's good to know. It's good to know that this guy's still out here.
Course as a bundle into the gold member.
Putting out the grift.
What I'd like to do is focus your...
Of course he has a sales pitch in there, Jesus, right before the Tesla valuation. And he did that on purpose because, I can't look away. I need to see what Meet Kevin's price target is on Tesla stock because he's so good at investing, bro.
Your attention here on what I call my 2026 base case scenario for Tesla. This is not the $1,000 sheet, but let's go through it. There's some important changes here from previous analysis that we've done for Tesla. I've actually reduced the average selling price of a Tesla from $45,000 to $40,000. Kathy Wood sits at about $45,000 for her target. I'm reducing this to about $40,000. I actually think it is beneficial for America and Tesla to have, and for Tesla to introduce smaller EVs, like smaller batteries.
This is some of the most delusional, ridiculous nonsense I've ever heard.
Million vehicles by the end of 2026. And he's saying their revenue is going to be about $200 billion by the end of 2026. Okay, that's not that far away. That's basically 3 years from now, 3 full years. So if we look at Tesla's current trailing revenue, this clown is saying Tesla's going to go from 90, they're going to double their revenue in 3 years, okay? If you look at their revenue year-over-year growth rate, it's massively decelerated. If you're growing at 8% for 3 years, that's not a double, okay? They're going to double their revenue in 3. Really? Serious? Does anybody really believe this shit? Does anybody really believe this absolute nonsense? That Tesla, which in the most recent quarter had 8% year-over-year revenue growth, is somehow going to double their revenue as they become larger, which is harder to do in 3 years.
A lot of people might
Yeah,
about that
of
idea
course.
because American goes lighter.
Wow!
All right, here we go.
EVs, right? So a Model 3 with 99 miles of range. The vehicle's lighter, it'll be more efficient, the battery will be a fraction of the cost. A lot of people might get upset about that idea because Americans, we like our range, we like buying cars for this edge case scenario that we might have to travel with it. But most households have more than one car. And I think a daily driver for your commute to school or you're bringing your children to school or soccer practice or whatever, 99 miles is almost sufficient. Actually, I think it's more than sufficient, quite frankly. I think the average commute in America is about 30 miles a day. That's your average.
Yeah, it's more than sufficient.
Roughly 30 minutes. As people look at that as sort of highway miles, though some people argue that the averages skew a little bit because some people sit in traffic and they drive fewer miles, some people drive more miles, whatever.
Wow, this is so pertinent to Tesla's price target.
The point is, and we could Google it too, average commute in America. Average commute in America. I was close. 26.6 minutes according to the census.
Now, 30 miles might be about 30 minutes for me, but I know for a fact that that cannot be anywhere close to reality for him. 30 miles, 30 minutes in LA. Now, that's the average, I know, but seems a bit disingenuous. I don't know. But in any case, it doesn't matter how much I have to drive. And this is all beyond all of that. I mean, he could be right. He could be right about all of this, but it's all speculative. Where has it ever... did they say, we're thinking about coming out with a 99-mile range Tesla that we can sell for $28,000? When was that ever claimed by anybody? Does he think he's going to get an audience with Elon Musk and he's going to take a suggestion? I don't really... There's no basis for this. That's what I'm saying. He could be right, but why would they be interested in doing that when the trend and everything that they've done so far does not support that speculation? I don't know.
Census Bureau.
That's ridiculous.
That's why I pay you money.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Financial advisor services, Kevin, because
He's zero profit. Exactly.
Let me Google it. Oh, what? 30 minutes? Wow.
That means on the daily, you spend about an hour on the road, right? So if you're about 30 miles, 60 miles. Perfect. Quite frankly, 100 miles on battery is probably like 60 anyway. No, it shouldn't be that bad. It should be, if you had a 100-mile battery, realistically, you should be getting like 85, 90 out of it, right? You take off that 10 to 15%, but that should be more than enough for your daily.
90? 85, 90 miles out of a 100-mile battery? I don't know. I'm not... All right, whatever.
I wish I could just drag on videos like this.
Or do things along the way or whatever. You plug it in at night. Simple. And now, this is assuming the 80% charge rule. So let's say the battery capacity is 120, right? And you're charging 80%. I personally think that is the long-term benefit where you can actually get not just a $25,000 Tesla, but you get a $19,000 Tesla that is actually profitable. So I...
no, we're going to have
a $19,000 Tesla that is profitable.
Yes, I'm sure by the end of 2026, clown along.
It would be bad enough for some random, Joe Blow to say this stuff, knowing nothing about the company, the landscape, and anything else. But for him to say this stuff is incredibly concerning, disingenuous, quite frankly, brain dead. I mean, this is garbage. How in the... Who does he think he's fooling with this shit?
Stupid cyber
I don't know.
Disaster, which is going to happen. They're going to have a $19,000 vehicle in 3 years with inflation. It's easy, bro. Okay? What is the average price of a car now? Much higher than that. Even a Corolla probably costs way more than that. This guy is so full of shit.
It does.
I believe average selling prices will actually deflate down. This is inclusive of what we're seeing throughout the broader economy, whether it's Walmart, Target, Affirm, Visa, MasterCard, travel companies.
Listen to this nonsense.
It's either talking about disinflation or deflation. At this point,
oh yeah, because throughout our history, we've totally had a consistent amount of deflation, right? Bullshit. Prices are going to go up, okay? The Federal Reserve, everybody wants like a slow, steady rate of inflation. Prices are not going to come down. Maybe in some categories they will, okay? But I don't think that's going to happen with cars. I think we're going to have steady, at some point, 2% inflation, which is the Fed's target. And over time, good Lord, over time, that's going to compound out. Tesla's car prices are not coming down. What a freaking moron.
Boeing and company earnings calls. And they are all, even Levi's, Vans, the shoes, certainly in the good space. And everybody's talking about how can they provide more value to their customers. I think one of the best ways Tesla can provide more value to their customers is by reducing the value of, or the cost, their entry cost of their cars. So how does that play into
reducing the value of the cars?
I think a $40,000 average selling price at 4.4 million vehicles, which that's very simple math. It's a 35% growth rate, down from 50%.
35% growth rate from 8. And they're growing. Oh my God. Please, why do I have to experience this for my pittance of ad revenue that I get? It hurts so bad.
But it's simple. It's 1.8 million vehicles in 23, add 35% for 4, 5, 6. Boom. You're at about 4.3, 4.4 million vehicles, depending on if you use 35.
Yeah, not 8%, bro. No, 35. But why not 50, Kevin?
35 and a half, right around there. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to look at margin. I'm going to assume that by 2026, the end of 2026, we are at a 20% expense or 80% expense ratio, 20% gross profit margin on the vehicles. We're leaving most of the other items the same from our prior analyses. And this is going to bring us to a $340 forward price target for 2026. There we go.
He had to update it. I mean, I'm not perfect either, but that's just funny. So he's saying it's going to be.
All right. Let's skip ahead a little bit here. Blah, 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 blah.
Easy. Just
I want to get to the next one, because that's where things go off the rails. Check this out.
Today's valuation, let's see what the stock price is at the very moment. It is $236. That gives us a compounded annual rate of return of roughly 13%. Now, that is not my $1,000 price target. I am now going to tell you about my $1,000 price target. And not only am I going to tell you about that, but I'm going to tell you about how we can actually get to $1,000 way quicker than anybody thinks. And I'm going to give you the step-by-step in terms of how Tesla can apply this and how we can get to $1,000 much quicker. Okay, ready? Here we go. First, this is the $1,000 price target. It is a 2030 price target. It is $36,000 per vehicle at 12.5 million vehicles. That is...
Wow, let me just pull a number of vehicles out of my ass.
Is a lot of cars. A lot. So we actually have to grow and grow and grow. We don't have to grow at an average of 35% anymore, though. We can actually bring the entire average to about 31%. So if I go...
Most recent quarter, 8%. For the next 7 years, bro, 31%. This is comedy. This is comedy.
For comparison,
I can't stand it.
Toyota sells about 10 million cars via.
Oh, and the average revenue per vehicle in 7 years, because there's not going to be inflation, bro. Trust me on that. It's going to be $36,000. You think a car is going to cost on average $36,000 in 2030? Seriously? Do you really believe that? Come here. Wow. This is why Kevin's a millionaire and I'm just a broke loser.
24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 30. All of them at 31%.
And Chevrolet sold about
31.5%.
1.5 million vehicles in 2022.
At a lower price range, because I think we're going to, yes, we'll have the luxury cars,
but 12.5.
Which I expect will happen. We are going to get this down. However,
we're not going to have deflation. Okay,
deflation.
Bad. People don't spend.
He doesn't understand.
It's the economy. We always want inflation. That's the target. We've always had consistent inflation. Okay, sometimes it goes higher than normal, but on average, we've had inflation historically, and it makes sense going into the future that we probably should have a tiny bit of inflation. Because if there's deflation, people delay purchases because they think prices are coming down, which they're probably right, and that slows down economic activity. It's like basic economics, okay? I'm not even an economist, and I know that.
We're also going to get efficiencies up. I don't think we're going back to 30%. That would be a massive game changer. I'll show you this in a moment. But look at this. I think we go to 23%.
The only times when you see
just those two variables,
CPI actually going down
of about 1.3
for the most part,
$1,000
is during recessions.
Okay, so what are their current shares outstanding?
which are the shaded parts.
So Kevin is saying, so the current shares outstanding are 3.1.
Yeah, prices aren't going down.
Let's go back a little bit. What is he saying the shares outstanding were? Okay, so he's assuming the shares will go up just a tad bit to finance all this expansion, all this growth, everything. The shares outstanding are only going to go up a couple million. Okay, maybe that's more feasible than everything else in this freaking presentation. But so even then, in 2030, this clown is saying Tesla's going to have a PE ratio of 50 in 2030. I don't know about you. I'm not a stock market expert, but most car companies don't have PE ratios.
That's reasonable.
And most companies don't grow at 31% compounded forever into the future, especially when we see massive contraction in sales due to massive competition. And macro, it's the macro, bro. This is
Toyota's price to earnings ratio is about 9.5. And they sold 10 million cars last year.
Just
10 million vehicles.
Stop, bro.
Just
okay?
As a reference. Yeah, just stop, bro. Okay. Yeah. Pretty ridiculous. Wow. Okay. No. Cost of materials. Well, I don't know. What about availability of materials too? I hear that, they're planting lithium trees, right? Every bit of lithium they get out of the ground, they're planting a new lithium tree so that it can create more lithium. Yeah. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this fucking shit up. All right. So finally now, for the last thing that you can't make up. Okay. Public schools teacher said 5-year-old students are out of control. Majority of no. Here it is. Toxic short sellers. So again, well, I'll just let him play us out. We'll play us out.
We'll do it live.
You know what?
Do it live.
What's up, man? This is Frankie. Let me say I'm not a financial advisor. Anything that I say in this video is for
doing it live.
Only. Whatever I say in this video is my opinion, may not necessarily be factual. Don't buy, sell, or hold a stock because of anything that I say in this video. Do your own DD. Don't get in the short squeeze play because of anything that I say in this video. I'm just an entertainer on YouTube. Look, bro. Retail investors in GTII, Finger, AMC, GME, MMTLP. Retail investors are in those short squeeze plays because they want to see change. And they understand, man, it's a certain level of corruption that's in our financial system as well as in our stock market. And that corruption is out of control when it comes to dealing with these toxic short sellers, these criminals. So as retail investors, we have been complaining about.
No, I mean, it's a much simpler explanation. Occam's razor would say that you just made a bad trade. That's really the best way to look at this. See, the problem is here, like, okay, this dude was in AMC, lost a lot of money, went down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, didn't take responsibility for his actions, didn't learn from what he screwed up on AMC, got disgruntled with AMC, supposedly left AMC. Who cares? But the next part is the crucial part. that basically solidifies, it concretes your inability to profit, or it concretes and solidifies your place as a loser of generational wealth. Because what happened then? He didn't go and buy Apple or Tesla or any of these, or indexes, anything like that. No, he went and bought GTII and Finger and these speculative penny stock bullshits. And it's like, okay, if you had learned anything from the AMC debacle, one thing that could have been gleaned from that is, you know what, maybe I should actually buy a good company that's profitable, that has revenue that we can know where it's from, and it outpaces the expenses, for example. But he didn't. And this is the danger. This is the danger of not learning, taking responsibility, or simply just walking away and saying, you know what, I screwed up, or you know what, I don't think I can make money doing that. I'm going to cut my losses and stop the bleeding and just forget about that dream. Well, nobody wants to do that, especially if you are somebody who's blamed everybody and everything else for, your station in life. But this is a perfect example of this playing out. You could have learned something from it. You could have improved. You could have done better. You could have at least stopped losing money. No, try to do the same thing on something that's arguably even stupider and more risky of a gamble. Does it get any clearer than this? Clear as mud, right?
Trying to get the powers to do something about these criminal short sellers.
Because there's nothing to be done. The only way that they could do anything to help you is by literally throwing you in jail. Because then you wouldn't have access to the fucking internet, and you couldn't go on there and make risky bets. And that's what needs to happen. You need to be protected from yourself. If you insist on the government doing something, they're going to have to lock you up because you're the one who did it. I don't understand how that's such a hard concept. And on some level, he has to know this. Otherwise, he really is a man-child.
From retail investors, the American public, and we've been trying to get them to do something about the powers that be. We've been trying to get them to do something about these toxic short sellers, these criminals, man, destroying companies and just killing the middle class. We've been trying to get them to.
They don't destroy companies, though.
Almost the past 3 years. Some people, man, like for a whole.
They actually fund companies.
And don't nobody want to do anything about it. Those that is supposed to be overseeing the stock market. And see, me personally, after watching everything these past 3 years, I've come to the conclusion that, and also after looking at, like I said, what these short sellers.
This is the last one, Lynn.
Like GME, AMC, Finger, GTII, MMTLP.
What? They're guaranteed future fucking buyers. They're guaranteed buyers, and as Manuel said, the short sellers save these companies.
Looking at what these
Get the fuck out of here.
Short sellers have done, over the
I should take my own advice on that. Get the fuck out of here.
That they've taken over $100 trillion from retail investors, over the past decade. I've came to the conclusion, me personally, after looking at all that, I've came to the conclusion.
Not if you bought Apple. Not if you bought Microsoft.
These criminal short sellers that have done all that, plus they've destroyed like thousands of companies.
Oh, you mean like Toys R Us, right? And Blockbuster and Circuit City? I'm joking, of course, but yeah. What would Mr. Lazarus say right now? I don't know.
Could have been a benefit to the world and could have put a lot of people to work. I've came to the conclusion that these toxic short sellers are economic hitmen for 1%ers. Those people, man, that control our country. These toxic short sellers, in my opinion, they are economic hitmen for them. You see what I'm saying? Because see, it's, in my opinion,
Wow, where'd he come up with that one?
class warfare. It ain't really a racism thing. It's all about class warfare. See,
So if it's about class warfare, then why do you think that you can fix capitalism? Why would you even think that it could be anything else other than what it is? Why do you think it would be? Why do you think it should be? You know, he's just so confused. I mean, really. I don't know what the fix is in his mind, but any fix that would give him what he wants would actually make it less fair. So it really doesn't make sense. What he wants is for him to win, but that wouldn't be a fair outcome, would it? I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim. Is that what he's saying, though? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really think that's the case.
These toxic short sellers, like I said, I feel like they economic hitmen for the 1%ers, the people that control everybody, that control the 99%. They don't care, man, if you black. They don't care if you white. They don't care if you yellow. They don't care if you brown. It doesn't matter to them. Their whole mission and their whole objective in mind.
Oh, we got a lot of yellow ones here.
The middle class, to destroy poor people. That's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah.
They want to keep things, man, status quo. They want to keep people in permanent poverty. See, if you ask me, the reason why these toxic short sellers is destroying the companies, because, see, if the companies grow, the 99% can grow. People can make money. So they want to keep things status quo. They don't want no economic development like that. So they want to destroy the companies because 99% can make money.
That's got to be the most delusional plan I've ever heard. And we know the reality is that short sellers don't destroy companies. They might bring awareness to companies that need to be destroyed, right? But short sellers do not destroy companies, and it's really, it hits on another central theme that I've tried to hit on a few times, is that essentially the stock market is I'll say it. It's imaginary. This is all imaginary to some degree, in the sense that I have an idea of what this is worth, right? I'm willing to put down this much money to buy it. I'm willing to take this much money in order to sell it. But at the end of the day, it's based on our beliefs and convictions, and the collective beliefs and convictions of everybody who participates in the system. But on its own, it doesn't mean anything. It has no value. It has no value. So we have to give it value. Trading, transacting, setting the price. What are we willing to? No, that's too much. No, that's not enough. That all comes down to individuals making those decisions. And if you decided that AMC is worth $1 million per share and the market is not there, then the fair thing is for you to say, okay, well, the market is valuing it here. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That's not what I'm hearing
I want the 99% to stay in permanent poverty.
But, short sellers can't bankrupt companies because, again, there's only a little bit of the stock that's available at the end of the day for short selling. It's not enough to bring the price of the stock down if the company is making money on the up and up, not in tax arrears, things like this. It's simply not possible. And that's not how it works. Now, they're going to say, well, naked shorts and da-da-da-da. Okay, but there's no evidence for that. It's already illegal. You're alleging something that has not been proven or shown or even really hinted at. The beef is that the price is too low. It must be because of something. Naked short selling is a familiar catch-all excuse. But to say that the market itself is trying to drive companies out of business that are trading in the same market is completely nonsensical, makes no sense. It's not possible. It's certainly not borne out in any evidence. It's counterintuitive, counterproductive, and it's counter of everything that would make any sense, even in the most fucked up capitalistic society that we have. So, I mean, I can't imagine having this distorted of a viewpoint of everything. It really, I think, is seems to be an indicator of extreme despair among a lot of these people and hopelessness and or entitlement and delusion. But either way, these are not healthy characteristics. Not healthy characteristics at all.
So that's what I'm saying, man.
Okay.
I think, man,
we done yet?
The goal is to keep everything status quo. They want to make sure that the 1%
status quo is the market going up.
Control, and that
that's what usually happens. The market usually goes up.
The 1%ers, in my opinion, look, man, they own the politicians. If you ask me, they control our stock market and everything that's attached to it. That's the reason why we can't get no help.
They always have. So what? Who cares?
Like I said, these 1%ers, in my opinion,
nobody needed any of this nonsense before in order to, steadily grow their account, which is, a reasonable thing to expect that you could do in the market. Are you going to make thousands of % return over a 15-minute period? No. And nobody ever said that you should be able to do that.
They doing.
I don't know where this idea came from.
1%ers, in my opinion, I mean, these criminal short sellers, they getting away with what they getting away with because these criminal short sellers are doing what the 1%ers want and what everybody else want them to do. Because like I said, they control our.
Most people, I would say even qualified investors, like rich individual investors or individual institutional investors or whatever, they're not. I mean, you see the bullish narratives that we see all the time. How could you sit there and say that the goal is to bankrupt companies? It makes no sense. I mean, look at some of the valuations of companies over the last couple of years. I mean, they were ridiculous. Some of them still are. Compared to how much these companies actually produce and sell. So there's no evidence. I mean, it's completely delusional. He's completely running on emotion. Economic hitman for the 1%. I mean, tell me that's not an emotional narrative.
Politicians, man, they control everything. That's the reason why, man, won't nobody stop them. So in conclusion, man, I say this. These short sellers is going to continue to do what they want to do unless retail investors like us, unless we fight back. So for those people that don't have patience and they don't...
How are you going to fight back?
Why retail investors, why we in these short squeeze plays, why we fighting back. That's the reason why. Because if we don't fight back, they're not
fighting back. I mean,
spending our money. You see what I'm saying? And you got to understand.
But ironically, you know, in an ironic twist, by fighting back, all you're doing is giving them your money voluntarily. That is the ultimate in stupidity. It will not change. Certainly not based on buying the least growth-worthy companies. It like there's this sense that they're going to trick Wall Street somehow, and you know, it just doesn't work like that.
And
oh my God!
When it comes to these toxic short sellers and these criminals, the reason why you got to have patience and conviction when fighting them is because we are probably, man, up against some of the most powerful corruption that you can see in any parts of the world when you're talking about dealing with these 1%ers and these toxic short sellers in our financial system. Thank you for taking time out to watch the video. Have a nice day.
You can't kill.
Well, you know, I would say
It's impossible.
This is what happens when you work to change things.
you know, there probably is a fair bit of corruption in capitalism. That's probably true.
If you don't understand the situation, it's better sometimes not to speak and just be proven a complete imbecile.
Maybe he should take Tony's advice.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Man, fuck you. I think you a bitch. You understand what I'm saying?
The feeling's mutual.
Is that what you're saying?
Hey guys, thank you for.
Are you saying it? What are you saying? Huh?
His ending says it all. Yeah.
No, I don't really think that.
I mean, this is the system that gave us Elizabeth Holmes, for Christ's sake. All right. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Thanks. Good night.